I want to start with Flight Risk.
Okay.
That's why you know why? Because I rated it the lowest.
Really?
Out of every film I've seen this month.
What'd you rate it as?
I get a 4.
Out of 4?
I get a 4.
Really?
Yeah. So obviously
Below average.
I'll take your input. Yeah, 100%. I'll take your input on it, but I hated that film. Genuinely, that was
You hated it, guys.
that was the worst film I've seen this month. That was worse. I would rather watch Amelia Perez than watch that.
What did it? That's crazy. What
Yeah.
didn't you like about it?
Well, okay, let's introduce Flight Risk, I guess. So Flight Risk is the new Mark Wahlberg film. Whoop-de-doo, Mark Wahlberg's still in the industry.
He's balding in this one too, which is
Yeah,
hilarious.
his hairline is crazy. I like Mark Wahlberg, please.
So my whole thing was I don't think the acting was bad at any point in time.
No, it
I just
wasn't.
didn't like Mark Wahlberg's character.
I didn't like any of the stories. So, okay, Flight Risk has to do with basically, it's a 3-character story, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, it has Mark Wahlberg, it has the cop lady, and then it has the actual prisoner, Winston. Mm-hmm. And those are 3 people. You're going to see them an hour in the runtime, maybe more than an hour of runtime.
Well, they're there the entire time. The only person that isn't there the entire time is Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah. So they're basically there the entire film, and you just kind of watch them all in a plane. What are they? It's like this Winston, they catch him. He's going to start telling on this mob boss that he worked for, and they're trying to escort him over to a safe spot.
To testify in New York, yeah.
And it's not going well. Mark Wahlberg comes in. So that's the film. It's like a blockbuster film. This film coming in hot. I saw a lot of commercials for it and a lot of flack for it. Obviously, if you have Mark Wahlberg, it's going to be a pretty high up film, no? So I give Flight Risk a very bad score. I will say I hated this film. This film was very boring and it didn't make any sense to me. So
There were definitely some things that didn't make sense to me too.
I just didn't like the premise of it either. I don't know.
Which is
just the whole cop lady, she got her job back basically, and they go and find this crime boss's assistant,
accountant. He was laundering money for
the mob boss.
Yeah.
And he's this comedic character for some reason, and then they all are in a plane in a confined space for an hour and a half. I hate films like that.
Oh, okay.
I do not want to see the same space for an hour and a half. Those characters were not compelling enough for me to be able to stand all 3 of them in one small space. That was so bad.
Okay.
And so it was just dumb decision after dumb decision after just bad writing, bad characters, and the story made sense kind of, but I don't know. I didn't like it. Did you have any big things that you didn't like on this? Because then we're gonna get into spoilers. So
I mean, yeah, the only thing I really didn't like was, and I guess the only real big, plot hole or whatever is that the lady in this movie whose name I really can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just saw it.
Yeah.
She, I guess the reason that she ended up becoming a pencil pusher, and then coming back on the field was because she essentially killed her last perp. She didn't kill them, but she was the reason that they died.
Yeah.
And so this time around, when they actually figure out that Mark Wahlberg's character isn't who he says he is, they just don't kill him right off the bat, which is insane to me.
Which is so dumb.
Yeah, which is insane to me. That's literally the only thing I don't like. Or also, too, something that really kept bothering me. He escapes or awakes from unconsciousness multiple times throughout this movie, and you would think that, all right, fine, if you're not going to kill him, you would pay closer attention to him and all the things that he does.
Back turned to him half the film.
Yeah, bro, and it's actually insane how often they turn his back to him. But other things in the movie, to me, I don't know, I don't know. Okay, for example, in the beginning of the movie, right, and I think it was a cool callback, is when they're talking. What's his name? Winston is trying to talk to Mark Wahlberg's character.
Yeah,
and he's talking about how he has $1 million stashed up somewhere.
Right.
And then he goes on this tangent and talks about how they were paying off some other guy
for $25K a month.
Yeah,
for a while.
In that other state or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
And then I like how when towards the middle of the movie, towards the climax, when everything starts to actually hit the fan.
When they're who's the leak?
Yeah, when they're trying to figure out who the hell is the person that's leaking all this information, the cop lady pieces it together, but it's not something that the audience couldn't do too.
Right.
And like I always appreciate that stuff when it was just like when she said when she was trying to get through to like the chief or commander,
the commander, yeah.
and they were like, oh, I'm gonna put you through to his house and so and so,
Yeah.
and then she got off the phone with him and she's like, wait a minute, like he lives in so and so,
Yeah.
and like you said that you were writing $25,000 a month to somebody in so and so, shoot, like it's him.
Right.
That like stuff like that to me is like kind of cool that they pick those pieces up together.
I think it was really bad writing. I think that's what that was. So this is my thing, right? I hate when movies just don't understand like basic humans, right? Which is like sounds stupid, but this is what I mean, right? So when she was skeptical about her friend, the other commander or the other general, whatever her name was, right? Where she was like, oh, no one knows, only you knew all these things, like blah blah blah. And so she told the real commander, the real general. Right, which first of all, the movie tries to throw you off and be like, "Oh, it's her," which was to me also just bad writing. Like, okay, we got it, and then it's like, "No, it's this guy now," and just flips. And so when they're talking to him, and he's like, "Okay, yeah, no, I'll be right on that for sure. Where's she at? She's in New York. Say less, right? I'll check that out." And then he hits her up and hits her with the, "All right, if you need anything, call me at my lake house in Sydney or whatever it was."
Yeah.
Who talks like that? No one says that. Bro, if I ever told you to call me, I'm like, yo, bro, call me at my crib in Sarasota, Florida. Why would I say that? I would just be like, yo, just call this number. Or call me at this phone. Or call me at this number. Whatever. No one says, yo, call me at my Sydney house in Massachusetts. No one talks like that.
Why does that bother you?
That's just so annoying. That is so annoying. The writer wrote that in for that exact reason. They had no other reason to show that, like, the main character, she was smart enough to put things together or find out who the real leak was. So to me, they just cut corners and were like, all right, we're going to make him not talk like a human for a second and throw in this piece of information that will criminalize him.
It was probably just like a landline, though.
Sure. Who talks like that?
But how else are you supposed to know where he's coming? Because like you have to dial in the right area code and all that other nonsense.
But she doesn't know the area code for City. She just tell her, hey, just call me back at this exact number. She was already on the phone with him.
Yeah.
Right? No one speaks like that. It was so bad. When I heard that, I was like, oh my God, it's this guy. And then she goes, oh, I'm sure it is at this place. $25K, and then he starts going crazy. Hey, hold on now. Yo, wait a minute. Like, didn't even try.
Try to what?
Oh, the hell are you talking about?
I guess.
Yo, she's talking about $25K a month. What are you saying? Do you need help or not? And then throw her off or something. This guy was just like, no, fuck you. No, you're not going to find anything. I'm going to kill all you guys. Bro, this guy's been stealing under everyone's nose or been working with this mob boss for supposedly a while now, and he's supposed to be this smart, clever commander, and put the wool over everyone's eyes.
I mean, I guess,
and
that's not how I saw it, but yeah,
it was garbage to me. That whole flip and switch, that was trash to me. And I hated that. I hated how, again, another character that just wasn't human to me, Hassan, the pilot that they found on the phone, bro. Why are you flirting when she is in a death scenario?
So this is one thing that I equated to like getting her mind off of the fact that she may or may not die.
To me, it was just so lazy.
Yeah. I mean, I guess
it was lazy and dumb
because nothing happened after that. You
know
what I mean?
Happened at all.
They didn't even extend that sort of love story after that.
No.
I literally just thought it was one of those things where like it's like a side conversation to keep her mind off the fact that she.
To me, it was trash. Why are you, if someone called me, I really need help. I don't know what I'm doing with making a drink, right? Right? If you guys call me, hey, I got plenty of people at the bar, I need a drink right now, and you're like, I'm killed. These people are, you're in a bad situation. Sure, I'm not gonna be like, all right, man, hey, bro, just throw something in the air, start making jokes and start. No, I'm gonna. All right, this is what you need to do. Make sure you're safe. Make sure you're good. Right? That's a dumb comparison, but
no,
still.
I get, but I think it's just one of those. Everybody everybody tackles it differently.
To
you know what I mean?
It was retarded. Winston,
because even like in real life, like at work, some people like our coworker Marisa, melt down.
That's right.
And other people are just, you know what I mean? Oh, damn, that sucks.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you have to work with different personalities.
Yeah.
And Hassan's character wasn't a bad character.
No.
He was cool.
And again, I'm sure, like, if in that situation, if she did not like that, he would have, you know what I mean?
Chilled.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe, but to me, it just wasn't human. If someone, especially, he's supposed to be a military personnel, right? My assumption?
I don't know if he's supposed
they
to be
said, hey, we're going to get a pilot. She's in the military. She's in the FBI, whatever she's in.
Yeah.
I would assume they'd get a special agent or someone who's a pilot on the phone. They did.
Because
Hopefully it's not some random guy. This guy's in the force.
I'm not even sure they would want to do that because they had assumed that there was a leak. So it probably might have been better for them to get just like
That was before they knew there was a leak.
that's before they knew it was a leak.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
That was way before they knew it was a leak because she was just talking. She was like, "Oh, hey, this guy wasn't who he's supposed to be. I need help."
Well, because remember
and then they started piecing together things after. Because Winston was like, "Oh, hey, I didn't tell anyone this. I didn't tell anyone that. I didn't tell anyone that." That was already after they had the pilot. And everything.
No, that it was before that though. Because remember, he started talking to her about
No, the plane was crashing. They needed a pilot immediately. That's why they got the pilot after the plane was steady, back on autopilot. That's when they started talking.
After he got conscious. Remember, because they asked him for help. They're like, "Hey, can you fly this plane?" And then he started talking to her about her past, about how like she's back on the field and yada yada
First
yada.
they got a pilot. Then I think they started talking.
No,
to
he
her.
didn't get conscious afterwards. That didn't make because remember they asked him for help in the beginning.
I know they
and he was
asked
like,
him for help.
he was like, "No, I'm not gonna help you." Like I don't. And they were like, "Oh, he doesn't care if he lives or dies."
Yeah.
He spoke to them first, and then they realized, oh shoot, like this guy is not.
I just remember when she called back and she was like, "Hey, we got a pilot for you," and then she was like, "Oh, hey, by the way, I think there's a leak." Goes from there. That's what I remember. I don't know. The movie was very confined. It was
It's an hour. It's not even an hour and a half.
It's like
I think it's like an hour and 25 or 24.
Winston's character, I hated it. Like, why are you making jokes? Why are you funny?
That's just how some people are.
I don't care. That was a bad character. You're telling me he's supposed to be like a smart guy? Nah.
I mean, he doesn't believe that one.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. That was bad. The whole thing also where like Mark Wahlberg's character has blood on him still from the killing the last pilot, or where the last pilot's ID is on the ground. Just sloppy work.
The guy was in jail for so long.
Why is there only one cop with a crazy criminal? Why, this guy is supposed to be like
he's just an accountant.
Lockdown. Yeah, but he's
just an
accountant for one of the biggest mob bosses.
Yeah, but
they're privately flying him over. They would have more people on him.
I don't think so. He's not because he's not someone that murders people.
He's not, but they would have more people.
He's literally just there to testify, and
100%.
he gave up immediately.
I know.
They came to the house and he was like,
his life is in danger. They would absolutely, especially in the U.S., they would 100% have more people than that. So that was also lazy to me. The ending was terrible. So abrupt.
The ending was abrupt. I was
just ended.
I wanted to see them taking a trial or so. I wanted to see something other than that. Yeah, they kind of
just ended.
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg gets banged by a truck, and then she shoots another guy working for the commander.
Hilarious. That was hilarious,
and bang.
by the way.
That was it. That was the film.
That was hilarious. I love that scene so much.
I don't know. Flight Risk to me just was not it. The director, I don't think he knew what he was doing. I think they were just trying to make a cash grab. Films like that to me don't make sense to just have one space. And all, I don't know. I didn't like some of the story aspects. I could go on and on about how much I didn't like this film, but genuinely, I would never watch this film again. I'm sad I watched this film for the first, in general. I give Flight Risk a 4.
Okay.
What'd you give it?
I'll give it a 5. I don't think it was below average. I think it was pretty average. I think it was just cliche enough. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. Like I didn't laugh at some of the jokes.
It was
that, you know what I mean.
But just to keep it
again, like some of the action to me was pretty decent. I like some of the conversations they had, like the back and forth, like for example when he was talking to her about her past. And then she just immediately starts beating the crap out of that guy. Like, stuff like that to me was, like, not bad. Then, I mean, again, what was other stuff kind of, like, out there? Like, when she shot him with a flare and he flew to the back of the plane?
Yeah.
Okay. You know what I mean?
When she opened the window?
She had to open the window.
But that was stupid.
Why?
Because then, like, the air and all, I'm not sure exactly all the science aspects around it. But all I know is if you open a window.
It beats choking to death to, like...
If you open a window in a plane, I'm pretty sure it goes south.
Right? No, it doesn't.
Well, I don't know. The whole not killing him and just letting him stay alive the whole time.
In the
just
beginning,
for him to die at the end.
Yeah, in the beginning, I understood it, right? Because I was like, okay.
Once he escapes and attacks you 3 more times, you gotta call it.
Like I said, in the beginning, I get it because like she couldn't shoot him. I get it. Big risk in a plane. Can't shoot him.
Right.
Got it. And they lost a knife.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a hassle. Don't kill him. Yada yada. Anything like every other time after that, it's like okay. At some point, you gotta.
She even just started shooting him
at the end. Yeah, basically when they were landing, which was the green light to me because remember they ran out of fuel anyway.
I guess.
So the dude was like, "Listen, you're less flammable. There's no power in the engine. This is actually easier to land the plane when you're like that." My whole thing was at the end, I was just so I was offended because he was like, they were like, she was landing the plane. He's like, are you gonna do this? You gonna do that? All right, good luck. She was like, wait, huh? And he just landed the plane like terribly.
This guy calmed her down the whole film just to be like, when she needed him most.
Bro, he just left like that. That's crazy.
He got disconnected. Party chat ended there.
I thought that scene was gonna go away. I thought he was just gonna be trying to talk her through that the entire time while she was landing. Dude was just thirsty as hell.
Mark Wahlberg also, he escapes again. They get into like a 1 second scuffle, shoots him a couple times, get back to the plane.
That's how it's gotta happen, bro.
That was crazy, but I don't know. Okay, so then we'll land in the middle 4.5.
If you want, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I said, it's an average film to me.
I couldn't ever watch that film again. I would absolutely rate that underneath Emilia Perez. I would rate that lower than any other film I've watched this last month. I'm not gonna say it's worse than like Werewolves, but
okay,
it's bad. So okay, Flight Risk 4.5 out of 10. Don't watch that film.